It's been a hard day's night, and I've been working like a dog.
Are you ready to get down to business? Join seasoned entrepreneur, community leader, and Army veteran Scott Shalom Klein, who will take you behind the scenes with those who work in America's small business scene and speak with leaders making an impact, creating jobs, and telling their story in entrepreneurship. So let's get down to business. On AM 560, The Answer. Here's your host, Shalom Klein.
And indeed, we're all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. In business, we talk a lot about business here. You're on with Get Down to Business, and I'm your host, Shalom Klein. Remember, you can always download podcasts on my website at syklein.com. And while you are there, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Shalom Klein. It's going to be a jam-packed week of content and information you will not want to miss. I am thrilled and excited to kick off this week's conversation with Zain Raj. We know that most business leaders and managers focus on operational, financial, and other tactical elements and forget that the most important job that they must do is earn and retain their stakeholders, and we'll define that momentarily, their stakeholders' trust. And if they use this prism, they will unlock the power of unprecedented growth. And that is exactly what our next guest, a visionary leader, business accelerator, and industry futurist, Zain Raj, combines innovation and creativity to create new business models for the future. He wrote a new book. It's called The Pyramid Puzzle. Zain, welcome to the program. Thanks so much for joining us.
It's great to be on the show with you, Shalom.
Absolutely. I know you're the chairman and CEO of Shapiro and Raj. I know you're also the founder and CEO of Zed Next. We're going to talk about all of those things and your other books. But Zain, in your new novel, The Pyramid Puzzle, you say that the average business consultant often focuses on the wrong things when they're called in to help a struggling brand or business. What do you think most consultants get wrong, and how did you develop a passion for this line of work?
Well, what happens when a business starts struggling, right? And when they start, when business owners look for help from the outside and they bring consultants in, is they all start, by looking at all of the operational aspects of the business, right? Because, hey, maybe it's your pricing that's wrong. Maybe it's your product portfolio that's wrong. Maybe it's, you are not in the right market spaces. And they start looking at all the tactical things that the business is built on. But what they all forget, and what most consulting firms have never built a capability in, is to understand the aspect of, at the end of the day, any business that exists to serve a human being, right? And I talk about this a lot. I go, you think you're in the hospitality business, you think you're in the consulting business, you think in the manufacturing. You're actually not. Every business is a people business, because you don't exist if there isn't a human being at the other end that looks to your business to solve a problem that they have, right? And you have to solve it in a way that's distinct and differentiated. And what do human beings want, right? But at the end of the day, they want to be able to trust the business to solve their problem in a way, and then, and deliver a product and a service that basically helps them move on. And this is where consulting firms have not built the skills and capabilities. And having been part of the whole world for the now almost 40 years, Shalom, it's going to be 40 years next year of me working to solve people's problems, right? In different parts of the world and in different categories, what you learn is treat people as human beings. And the only thing that foundationally creates reciprocity is the fact that I trust you, you trust me, because we solve problems for each other consistently.
Absolutely. Again, I'm chatting with Zain Raj, who is the author of The Pyramid Puzzle. And Zain, I hear the passion in your voice. And indeed, we know that trust is the most under-leveraged impact maker in the business world today. And the power of trust can help any company, and you've been emphasizing that over the past few minutes, any company, regardless of industry, ignite growth in a way never imagined before. And you talk all about that, again, in The Pyramid Puzzle. So again, identifying trust is key to business success. We've come to that conclusion over the past few minutes, but can you define trust in the context of business, Zain?
Absolutely. I think the reason why a lot of people have difficulty with the concept of trust is trust, feels like a feeling, right? And it's supposed to elicit a certain emotion. And which is part of the reason why, unfortunately, it's one of the most used words, actually overused word in life and business. and the least understood, right? Because, how do you explain a feeling and how do you explain, the kind of emotions going to go? And it's, and it's interesting, as I've studied the concept and as I've built the foundation on it, it actually, trust is built on a very, very simple, algorithm, right? And it's this. It's first have set a clear expectation, right? If you're building trust among with each other, set a clear expectation of what could you expect from me, and what should I expect from you. The second thing, part of the equation, is exceed those expectations consistently. So a lot of people talk about, make a promise, deliver on the promise. The key thing that they got to realize is you can't just deliver on the promise. You got to exceed on a consistent basis, because once you meet an expectation once, the next time the person has a slightly elevated expectation of you, right? On the same thing. So exceed the expectation. And the third thing that's most important is do it consistently, right? Make sure that you are not failing on this. And it's such a simple idea, but it becomes so hard to execute because 90+% of companies and individuals do not set clear expectations of the receiver, right? How many? I actually was doing a keynote in a healthcare space last week, and I landed up, as part of that, looked at the companies that were attending, and I put the tagline, right? This is stuff that they advertise and set an expectation. And all of those were like, we care about the world of health. And there was nothing specific. And the point I made to them was, I said, if you think about cars, right? When you think about BMW, you got a clear expectation. It's the ultimate driving machine, right? When you think about a Volvo, it's a safe car, right? When you think about Mercedes-Benz, it's Mercedes-Benz or nothing. It's about prestige. They set clear expectations, and then you know what to expect from them. And that's why they become solidly powerful brands. Are you doing the same thing? And it's fascinating. There were a number of people pretty upset in that group because they're like, man, what you made us seem like we were foolish. And I'm like, no, you're not foolish. You're just following the category paradigm of the past versus thinking about the world of today and the future.
Absolutely. That's great. So we know that a business's three constituents, when we talked about stakeholders a few minutes ago, are customers, employees, and suppliers. So in our just brief couple of minutes remaining, can you outline where are the trust pressure points for each of these three groups that, again, we're defining as stakeholders in the pyramid puzzle?
It's when you think about each of those three stakeholders, the basic place where the trust problem starts is the lack of expectations or misalignment. I'll give you an example. Employees of a company, they believe that they are the essential lifeblood of the business, right? That they are the indispensable assets of the business, right? They are the ones who are driving it. You know what the business behavior to them is? They're very dispensable expenses, right? Hey, I'm not making money. We got stock prices under pressure. Let me cut you, furlough you, send you away, right? So I'm expected to be I believe I'm an indispensable asset. Again, I get treated as a dispensable expense. When you're a supplier, right? Most suppliers believe that they're going to be valued partners to the business, right? Guess what the business behaves with them, right? Is a negotiable vendor, right? It's fascinating. 92% of the Fortune 200 talk about important suppliers. They don't have a supplier management process. They have a vendor management process, right? So they don't even get the language that they speak right in their behaviors, right? When you look at consumers, right, and your customers of business thinks that they are the lifeblood again of the business, right? Without me, you have no reason to exist. What do we treat them? What does the business treat them? As an economic engine, right? Once you become a customer, I'll take you for granted, and I'll run promotions and different things to bring somebody else in. I'm not going to serve you. That is fundamentally the foundation of why businesses don't have trust with any of those constituencies. If they can fix the expectation and align on the expectation, behave against the expectation, you wouldn't have a problem.
Absolutely. Again, I've been chatting with Zain Raj, the amazing passionate author of The Pyramid Puzzle. It is absolutely a fantastic read. And Zain is also the author of Marketing for Tomorrow, Not Yesterday, and Brand Rituals, How Successful Brands Bond with Customers for Life. Clearly an expert on the topic. And again, Zain, I know that you are the chairman and CEO of Shapiro and Raj, as well as the founder and CEO of Zed Next, an ideas incubator that takes an objective and disruptive look at issues and trends to help marketers and business leaders realize their full potential in a data-driven, digitally led, and insights-driven world. Zain, I want to make sure our listeners can get in touch with you and pick up a copy of these great reads. How can we do that?
Well, I think the easiest and the best way might be to just go to my website. It's called zainraj.com. And, they and email me or email me at zain@zainraj.com. That's one easy way. The other easy way is to reach out to me at my business email, zain@shapiroraj.com. That's second. And the third, very easy, is hit me up on LinkedIn.
Well, absolutely. We'll make sure that our listeners do that. A quick break here on the show all about small business jobs and entrepreneurship. We'll be right back.